Let me tell you the harsh truth. Every single day you wait to buy Bitcoin, you're making a silent decision. You're choosing the status quo. You're betting that tomorrow will give you a better deal than today. You're telling yourself, I'll buy when it dips. I'll buy when it feels safer. I'll buy when the time is right. But here is the problem. That perfect moment almost never comes. And by waiting, you might be ruining your chances of owning financial freedom. Because Bitcoin doesn't wait for anyone. It moves with or without you. And history is crystal clear on this. The people who hesitate, the people who overthink, the people who wait, they get left behind. So in this video, I'm going to show you why exactly waiting to buy Bitcoin could be the single biggest financial mistake of your life. So here are the things that we will cover. One is the psychology trap that makes people wait until it's too late. Two is the historical proof that hesitation destroys wealth in Bitcoin. And three, what I'm personally doing to avoid falling in this trap myself. By the end, you'll understand why the biggest risk isn't buying Bitcoin too early. It's waiting until it's too late. So stay with me because this is one of the most important conversations you'll ever hear about Bitcoin. Before we dive deeper, let me make something clear. This video is not financial advice. I'm not here to tell you what to buy or sell. I'm just sharing what I've researched, the history and my personal perspective on Bitcoin. Remember, investing is risky. You can lose money and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always do your own research and if needed, talk to a professional before making financial decisions. So, alright, let's dive into it. The first thing we have to understand is, why do people wait? Think about your own brain. Chances are you have this thought before. I'll buy Bitcoin after the next dip. It sounds completely logical. It feels smart. Why pay more today if you might get it cheaper tomorrow? It's very fair, it's true. But here's the trap. When Bitcoin dips, people get scared. Instead of buying, they freeze. When Bitcoin pumps, people say, it's too expensive now. I'll wait for it to go back down. And when it crashes, they panic and say it's dead. I'm glad I didn't buy. So whether it's up or down, the decision ends up being the same. Wait. This is called paralysis by analysis. Waiting feels safer. It feels rational. But in reality, it's procrastination disguised as strategy. And Bitcoin punishes procrastination. Let's talk about history is ruthless to those who wait. Let's look at the past. In 2011, Bitcoin was $30. People said, I'll wait until it goes back to $10. It never did. In 2013, Bitcoin was $1,000. People said again, I'll wait until it's $100 again. Bottomed at 200 and then soared to 20k. 2017, same story, Bitcoin was 20k. People said I'll wait until it's 2k again. The lowest it went was 3k and then it rocketed to 69k. In 2021, people said 69k, I'll wait for 10k. And the bottom was around 16k. And now we are back well over 100k. Do you see the pattern? Every cycle people wait for the perfect price. And every cycle the floor rises permanently higher. The biggest regret in Bitcoin history has always been the same: waiting too long. Now, I think the math of scarcity doesn't wait. Bitcoin is the only asset on earth with a truly hard cap, 21 million coins ever. About 3 to 4 million are already lost forever. That leaves maybe 17 to 18 million available. And most of those are held by long-term holders who aren't selling. Now add this up. There are over 8 billion people in the world. There are 56 plus millionaires. And even if every millionaire wanted just one Bitcoin, it's mathematically impossible. That means owning even a fraction like 0.1 BTC puts you ahead of most of the world. But here's the thing. Every year more institutions, more corporations and even governments are starting to accumulate. Supply is vanishing from the open market. So if you wait for cheaper Bitcoin, Ask yourself, cheaper compared to yesterday's price or cheaper compared to what it will be worth in the future? Because the math says the longer you wait, the less chances you will have to accumulate anything meaningful. Okay, so one of the most powerful forces in human behavior is regret. And in Bitcoin, regret hits hard. Ask anyone who sold at $1,000 thinking they were a genius. They regret it. Ask anyone who sold at 20k in 2017. They thought they nailed the top. They regret it. Ask anyone who never bought at all, watching the price skyrocket every cycle. Their regret is crushing. But you know who doesn't regret? The people who bought and held. Because in Bitcoin, patience pays. The only people who consistently lose are the ones who wait too long to buy or sell too early. Now here's something most people don't realize. Cheap is relative. $30 felt expensive in 2011. $1,000 felt insane in 2013. 20k Bitcoin felt unreachable in 2017. 69k Bitcoin felt the end in 2021. But every single one of those points now look cheap in hindsight. Can you imagine now we say Bitcoin crashes back to 100k, which is something unthinkable 3 years ago. So when you say Bitcoin is too expensive now, I'll wait for it to get cheap again. You're missing the point, because compared to its future potential, today's prices are still cheap. Let's project it into the future. Imagine Bitcoin at $500,000 or $1 million or even higher. At that point, even small amounts will be out of the reach for ordinary people. Institutions will own massive chunks. Governments will hold reserves. If you're waiting until it's safer at those levels, you've already lost, because by then the wealth transfer will already have happened. You'll be the person telling your kids potentially, yeah, I could have bought Bitcoin under 200k, but I've waited. And that story will sting. Here's the paradox most people miss. Waiting feels safe, buying feels risky. But in Bitcoin, it's the opposite. Because waiting exposes you to the biggest risk of all, being priced out forever. Bitcoin doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't wait for your paycheck. It doesn't slow you down until you're ready. It keeps moving. Buying now doesn't guarantee profit, but waiting almost guarantees regrets. So let me share what I'm personally doing. And again, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research. I don't try to time the market. I don't try to guess the bottom. I don't say I'll buy when it's cheaper. Instead, I accumulate over time. I focus on accumulating as much BTC I can, because I truly believe a fraction will be life-changing in the future. I don't massively over-leverage. I don't risk money I can't afford to lose. But I don't wait either, because I know waiting is the fastest way to miss the opportunity. Now, having said all of that, let's zoom out. Bitcoin isn't just an investment. It's a once-in-a-lifetime historic event. That's what I believe. It's the first and only decentralized fixed supply global money that doesn't come twice. We are alive at a rare moment in history where it's still relatively accessible to ordinary people. And that window, I believe, is closing and closing. Future generations won't have the chance. For them, Bitcoin will already be the foundation of the financial system. For them, owning even 0.01 BTC might be a dream. But for us right now, it's possible. So here's the question I would like you to ask yourself. Do you want to be the person who says, I waited, I missed? Or do you want to be the person who says, I saw it, I acted, I did my research, and I bet on it, and it changed potentially my life? Because the truth is brutal. Waiting to buy Bitcoin could potentially ruin you. Not because Bitcoin owes you well for anything, but because by waiting you're giving away the single rarest opportunity of your lifetime. At least that's what I believe. Bitcoin rewards action, not hesitation. And guess what? The clock is ticking.